Hey, hey, guess what? We're live. We're live. We're microdosing a Bitcoin president straight from Manhattan, lower Manhattan, New York City. We're in this cool little hotel.
That's right. That's where we are. We're downtown. We're in the financial district in New York City. And we had lunch today at Odeon, the famous spot. Very nice. What's happening?
Right. So I'm calling this a Bitcoin president because the mayor of Miami, another big city here on the East Coast of America, where many New Yorkers have fled, and we notice that while walking around Manhattan right now, we're noticing people abandoning the city. They've totally abandoned it. We like it because we like having the whole city to ourselves. But the mayor of Miami just today encouraged, I guess he was speaking at some sort of Bitmain conference, and what he told the people, as in conclusion, is that the voters need to elect a Bitcoin president.
Yep. That's Hyperbitcoinization. It's sweeping the globe. So Ukraine has now made Bitcoin legal. Bitcoin is now the legal tender in El Salvador. That's two countries down, another 88 to go. And what we, you know, those who are not picking up on this phenomenon are going to be paying a lot higher prices, which is fine because for hodlers and people who have been watching us for 10 years now, we love to see it because we love to see the price go up. We love to see hyper Bitcoinization. We love to see all the elements, all the factors that are coming in and contributing to this glorious transformative moment.
How does the lighting look? Like, this is
Looks
the.
great.
I'm asking the audience here, you out there watching this microdosing a Bitcoin president with us. How do you feel about the audio? How do you feel about the lighting? And the reason why I ask you is because you are the audience. You're watching this, and this is the very first time I have ever set up this whole kit that we have right now. I have a little light on top of the camera as well to add extra light to, hotel rooms are often like mood lighting, right? Sexy mood lighting. And it's hard to light the place. But I don't know if I need to turn it up higher. If so, you just complain. Just complain in the comments, right? I'm going to check out the live chat there. Looks great. Ukraine and Panama next. There's only one way. I need to sleep. Okay. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. So, yeah, no, everybody, Miami has been competing with Austin, right?
Yeah.
As like the locations. I suppose the Austin mayor isn't really pro Bitcoin though. He's not a big Bitcoiner compared to the Miami mayor.
No, I haven't heard the Austin mayor really talk about Bitcoin. I may have missed it, but I don't. The people are flocking there because it's just attracted a lot of Bitcoiners naturally.
Well, that's the thing. That's how Silicon Valley became Silicon Valley. It was Hewlett and Packard, was it, that
Yeah,
was there first?
yeah.
Two guys, they were the original garage guys. They like formed a company out of their garage, and them being there attracted their other coder friends and computer geek friends. And it, like, the more talent was there, it exploded into this place that attracted a lot of capital from DARPA, from the private sector. And now we have in Austin, Texas, we have the all the developers. Who was the first one? I'm not sure. Maybe Jimmy Song. Maybe there were others, but it naturally drew in, because it's kind of a nice mix, right? For in terms of Texas, because Texas can be quite extreme weather, extreme landscape, and Austin kind of has a good mix of like that Texas good old boy cowboy, but total freaks and students
Well, they
and
have cheap energy, so that's pulling in a lot of miners, and I think that pulls in the developers and it pulls in the industry. So Texas could become the Bitcoin mining capital of the world, and I think that's probably at the center of why it's becoming such a huge Bitcoin hub. In Miami, I think it's such a dynamic, exciting lifestyle, and it's bringing in kind of the money people. So you got the coders and the miners in Texas, and you've got the money and the money managers in Miami. They're leaving the San Francisco. The VCs are kind of leaving. They're leaving New York City. Clearly, we're here. We don't see a lot of action on the street. So that's where this industry is migrating toward. Miami. I agree. They need a Bitcoin president. Bitcoin's becoming a single issue, political issue. If you have a candidate that's pro-Bitcoin, you're more likely to vote for them. And so it's going to really start to change the politics, both in the U.S. and around the world.
Right. And of course, the reason why he's probably saying, oh, we need a Bitcoin president in the United States is, well, he didn't even specify the United States, but one assumes he meant that because we do have a Bitcoin president now, and that's in El Salvador. So far, that very first day, literally, I mean, a lot of people are putting it down to conspiracy theory, but it could be just the simple buy the rumor, sell the news sort of thing, sell the history. And that is that, the Bitcoin crash on literally an hour or maybe 2 hours after El Salvador, is using Bitcoin as legal tender.
Yeah, the wiggles in the price are meaningless, right? Like Jack Dorsey said, we're not here to make money, we're here to fix money. So the actual price movement is the least interesting part about Bitcoin. The fact that it's replacing fiat and replacing gold, that's the key part. So for Salvadorans, that means that they're going to be enjoying a degree of sovereignty that is unknown anywhere else in the world, really. They're on the path to being the freest country in the world. And it's really remarkable. And so many people and leaders and political leaders are just bamboozled by this. They can't figure it out. They don't understand the connection between money and politics and freedom. But, they're going to be taught a lesson by El Salvador.
How's Max's volume now? I turned it up. I turned it up a little bit louder. How's mine? Oh, I like my outfit as well. I got to see that there. So the price shouldn't matter, but of course it did get the headlines. So in a way, all the conspiracy theories, well, Nayib Bukele himself, right, of the president of El Salvador, when the price crashed by like 12% in the matter of minutes, he was like thanking the IMF for doing this. And mentioned that he had bought or the nation had bought 100 Bitcoin and then another 100 and then 50 or something like that. So then at that moment he said he had saved $1 million on their latest acquisition of Bitcoin.
Right. We lived through the era of what's called the Greenspan put, which became the Bernanke put, the Janet Yellen put, the Jay Powell put. That means that anytime the stock market goes down, they come in and they buy it by printing lots of fiat money. Now we're living in the Bitcoin put era where there is no downside to Bitcoin. It's mathematically impossible for it to go down in price in terms of purchasing power over any meaningful period of time. It's just going to simply continue to go up. It's mathematically guaranteed to increase your purchasing power over time, mathematically guaranteed. Just like 2 + 2 = 4. Bitcoin will increase your purchasing power. It's mathematically guaranteed, like the sun rises in the east, like there's the existence of gravity. It's a mathematical guarantee. So if you want your purchasing power, like I saw Bitcoin Zay was on Fox News, and the interviewer was saying, what about this volatility? And there is no volatility in Bitcoin. There is volatility in the fiat money world. But Bitcoin is 2 + 2 = 4. It just keeps going up in purchasing power. It's mathematically a certainty. It's never going to change. It's involatile. It's not going to ever change. And so there is no volatility. There's political volatility because a lot of these countries are going to lose all their political power. And places like El Salvador is going to be a magnet, attracting entrepreneurs and attracting capital and attracting tourists and attracting property speculators, right? So it's going to explode. GDP is going to go up dramatically.
Oh yeah, property speculators. You're going to get all the Brits and Australians. They love my boob is starting to hang out.
Oh, wardrobe malfunction.
The property spec. I already saw Peter McCormick was saying he's going to buy a property there, and those Brits are always the first to start speculating on properties. So they love their housing bubbles. So they might bring a housing bubble to you. And
they'll definitely price it. For 3 Bitcoin, you can essentially investment in the country. I think you get long-term visa status immediately.
Yes.
And so that's, of course, that was that you could have gotten it for less than $100,000 before. Now it's going to cost you $150,000. So the price of long-term visas in El Salvador went up by 50% in the last few weeks.
No. It did.
Yeah.
Right. So how about the price of pupusas? Because, there is inflation because of the fiat world, right? The money printer go brr.
Yeah.
Just so you know, like because we're flying off to Paris, we had to go get a COVID test and like a proper one. Like, so they either stuff that swab way up your nose, a 12-inch swab,
Yeah.
or there's a spit thing, a saliva test you can do.
Yeah.
Only a few places do that. But we went to go do that this morning, and it's really difficult to get that much spit. Like, you have to fill that much of a test tube up. The test tube's like that big, and you have to fill it that much up. And it took me over half an hour. It was like so difficult, and now I'm still parched, a few hours later. So
wow.
I feel like I feel like cotton mouth. Like I feel like I took too much cocaine, which of course you shouldn't do here in New York because half of it's like laced with fentanyl, right?
Wow. Yeah. Well, fortunately, we had a good lunch, I recall. That was nice. I had, at lunch, what did I have? What did I have? I forget now.
You had that chicken, the roasted chicken.
I had a rotisserie chicken. Yeah, rotisserie chicken. And it had roasted eggplant puree. And it was on some kind of grain, a bed of some type of grain. I'm not exactly sure.
It was so good.
Yeah, it was really delicious. Really delicious.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing fine.
I miss
and then
you,
I had, an espresso.
He had, oh my God, you had so many espressos today. I got my mani-pedi. You come to Manhattan, you got to do that because that's the only way to take care of yourself is come here because it has the best mani-pedis in the world. So, yeah, and we were talking about, Yellow's laughing. I don't know. Max jumped on a call because we're sitting here in this little living room in our hotel room, and Max, shit posting and stuff like that, as you do in the Bitcoin space. And Max like, oh, look, Yellow is vibrating. I thought it was like some sort of chakra or something. And he's like, I'm going to join the call.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are you going to join? Like some mission? Like, are you going to become a Hare Krishna? What's going on? And then suddenly he's on a Spaces call. But Yellow then tweeted, and he's like, he's not on the call. And he was vibrating for no reason.
Really?
But then he joined the call to say, hi, Max.
Well, that's an interesting situation that I don't really recall about that call. But I'm glad to hear about Yellow.
Right. And then, so we had the mayor of Miami laughing my ass off, Max's face after I feel like I did too much cocaine. Yeah. Well, in Manhattan. Oh, so Manhattan, right? Okay. This is the first time we've been here in over 2 years now. And we used to come like every 3 months to 6 months. And what we found is, yeah, it does feel like even though it's mid-September, this is usually like really busy time of the year. You often have the UN General Assembly thing happening around this time of the year. Everybody's back from the Hamptons. The classic is you leave the Hamptons right after Labor Day. Nobody stays there. They all are staying there again this year. So you do have kind of an August sort of feel to the city, an early August feel. It's really empty. And the thing that really stood out to us was that when we were at the restaurant yesterday having steak, the waiters just were gathered around talking to us, and they wouldn't stop talking, which is so unlike any New York waiter. Like, right? It's usually so fast. They're really busy. They got to turn it over. They got to go make some tips. Blah, 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 pump, push some more alcohol on their other clientele.
Yeah, they were totally just standing around, not much doing anything, really. That was just I guess that's the big, that wasn't much going on there. But it was nice, though. I enjoyed it. I wasn't much going on with that guy, as I remember, or don't.
Right. Well, the guy was from Montenegro. Leave some comments in the post too, and make sure to smash the like button. Participate in a conversation with me. Join me for this conversation. So I'm going to check the Bitcoin price too. Let me see what it is, because I haven't checked all day because I've been so busy. That's the thing about Manhattan. You know, you're always busy here. It's always walking, walking, walking. $46,500. All right. Okay. You know, it's been basically hanging out there for the longest time. And, right. Now let me go back to you. I got to go back to you. I know this is riveting television, riveting live stream. Do you think Elon takes Tesla to El Salvador for Bitcoin? Well, Elon is, you know, in Texas and trying to reshape there, right? He's building that whole town for, I forget the name of the town, but somebody could put it in the comments. He's building that whole town back up. It's a town that's already exists near the border for SpaceX. So he's doing that with SpaceX down there, building a factory for Tesla. I'm not sure where he actually lives in Austin, but oh yeah, he said he lived in one of those little prefab houses, a $50,000 prefab house on the SpaceX. I believe it's on the SpaceX town factory sort of thing. So yeah, whether or not, no, he won't go to El Salvador. Well, I suppose if they have
Why would he go to El Salvador?
If they have free volcano energy, you know, why would he go there? He's not a Bitcoiner, right? He's not a Bitcoiner. Tesla has some Bitcoin, but he's a shitcoiner and a troll. So I don't see why he would want to be in El Salvador.
No, I don't follow Elon Musk. You know, I don't follow him, and I muted anybody who mentions him, and I have no idea what he's doing. He's a guy who has some cars, I guess, but he's not in the Bitcoin community, and he does a lot of other shit, from what I gather. But I don't know what Elon's up to these days. I wouldn't expect to see him. I don't know. If I saw him in the street, I wouldn't recognize him. I just don't know. He's got a weird girlfriend. I know that, who thinks she's an alien, lives in a spaceship, as far as I know. And they have a child that is apparently the result of some intergalactic impregnation from Japanese tentacle porn or something. I don't know. It's kooky. But he's not, as far as I know, he's not into Bitcoin at all. That's as far as I know.
And, you know, there's loads of Bitcoiners down in El Salvador, though. So, you know, as people are commenting that they've been seeing, who is it, John Vallis? Somebody's down there buying, oh, no, it's Aaron from Bitcoin Magazine bought some breakfast at McDonald's with Lightning. So, hell, yeah, this is amazing, right? This is something that all the drama, all the FUD, a lot of you might not have been around for the whole 2014, 15, 16, leading up to the whole fork wars of 2017. You know, all of the FUD and drama and just like melodrama around that, of this, you know, this notion that Bitcoin can't handle all this trade, and you can't buy coffee with Bitcoin. And that was Roger Ver, like, trying to push everybody into like increasing the block size.
That's what he said for years and years. I need to buy a cup of coffee at Bitcoin. So there they were. They're using Lightning Network, buying coffee at Starbucks in El Salvador. So Bitcoin Cash use case has been invalidated. Bitcoin Satoshi Vision is invalidated. Ethereum is never had a use case. Vitalik told me himself he thought it was a scam to begin with, going back to when he first launched it. And everything that's a pretend to Ethereum is just a lowercase scam. It's a scam of a scam. So Bitcoin asserts itself at this time, and these countries are adapting it, and they're adopting it, and it's becoming a Bitcoin standardization. That's what we're into, Hyperbitcoinization.
And this Bitcoin shitty vision of the that one's the funniest turd of all. It's like, it's the turd that won't flush down in the toilet, and nevertheless, it's now number 58 on the list of CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko, which I'm looking at. And, you know, that was up in the top 5 at one point. then the top 10, then the top 20. But it's plummeted from like it was 45 only 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it keeps on plummeting. It's not going to be
Yeah, there's no hash rate at all. All the
No.
volume is wash trading from one guy trading with himself.
Yeah.
And that's just going to go, literally going to drop out of the top 500 in the next few weeks.
It's just been up there for way too long, I have to say. Get rid of these ETH tards. Goodbye. Somebody had a good question. I'm trying to find where it was, and because I forgot. Like we started talking about SpaceX and stuff like that, but somebody had. Can you throw an orange pill Twitter Spaces? I'm not sure. Do you really? Does everybody like having a big phone call? I'm not sure. Like, for anybody like boomers and X, like me and Max, like we already did all the conference calls in the 80s and stuff like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I can't do more than one of those a month.
Yeah, those are just like...
And even that, it's like opt in, opt out. But, it's just a big conference call, right? And number one. Number two, you can't keep out the shitcoiners. And then they come in there and they pollute the environment.
Yeah.
And then it falls. Like I was on one last night, and I was on it for a while, and I was talking about Bitcoin. And then some ETH tard shows up, and they're like, they do the sea lioning thing, like, well, I just want to talk about sea lions. And how come you're against sea lions? And, the sea lions have a right to exist too, And have you thought
competition?
Have you thought about sea lions?
Oh.
And it's like all this stuff, and it's worse than waterboarding. If the CIA wanted confessions out of terrorists, they should just have the ETH tards pitch them Ethereum, and they would confess within an hour. Instead of, it's much more torturous and painful than waterboarding to listen to these lightweights drone on about this shit project that even the founders said was a scam from day one. Total exit scam from day one.
Right. So here's the question. Not Even Wrong said, do you think the U.S. will let Ukraine adopt Bitcoin?
It's not up to the U.S. because the U.S. has only fiat money, right? I mean, they have guns and helicopters and stuff, but that's fueled with fiat money, and it's purchased by fiat money, and it's serviced by fiat money. If you need a new part for a Apache helicopter, you need to print more fiat money. And the purchasing power of that fiat money is now crashing. We see that with the inflation numbers. So the U.S. is on the way out. El Salvador is on the way up. Ukraine, they want to join the revolution. They want to be part of the 21st century. They want an economy that works. All right, move into Bitcoin. That's great. The U.S. has no global control. They have no global influence. And to suggest that they do is wrong-headed, and you're living in the past. That was true maybe 50 or 60 years ago, but it's not true anymore.
Right. So live chat is going active, very active. Make sure to smash that like button. There's 557 here in the chat. I don't know. I mean, yes, Ukraine is kind of a client state now of the U.S., but, it's kind of weird to ask that question just, 3 weeks after the U.S. was humiliated by the Taliban, and the Taliban's prancing around in, like, fashion videos. They have their own Instagram, essentially. It's like, they're like the Kardashians of like...
They're riding around in bumper cars, throwing our money around, billions and billions of dollars. But yeah, the U.S. couldn't even evacuate from Kabul, without a massive catastrophe. So, the Ukraine is a client of the U.S., but so is El Salvador. So El Salvador is extricating itself. They're going to pay off their IMF loan. They're going to tap into volcano energy. Their GDP is going to be skyrocketing, and so the U.S., the only question is, when does the U.S. start buying Bitcoin for their reserves? That's the only question for Americans. Anything else is going backwards. Anything else means that your fiat money is taking you down the path of destruction. The only question any American should be asking other Americans is, when will the U.S. Treasury start to accumulate Bitcoin for the American Treasury? That's the only important question. Not whether Joe Biden's senile. Not whether AOC is going to run for president. Not whether Donald Trump is going to run for president. None of that's important. None of it. 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 The only thing that's important in America today is when is America going to start buying Bitcoin for the Treasury? That's the only question. The question. The only question.
I think Peter Schiff will buy Bitcoin before the U.S. does. Neither of them are ever going to buy it, right? It's never going to happen. So that's too bad for them. They, you know, but that's the way empires always go out, right? That's hubris. That's what happens.
Right. I've said the U.S. is going to be the last country to stumble into Bitcoin, and they're going to pay the highest price for it. Just like they paid, $85 billion to leave Kabul. They'll be paying $5 million of Bitcoin, right? They're not good at timing the market in a way that would be beneficial for society as a whole. So they'll be paying the most for any country. They'll be paying the highest price.
It'll be like, how the United Kingdom, they had Brown's Bottom, where Gordon Brown sold half their gold, about 60% of England's gold, at a 5,000-year low, and somebody will buy Bitcoin at its all-time high of at the extinction event. They'll try to buy it at the extinction event of fiat, right? There will be, because fiat will go that way, right? It won't. It'll hyperinflate, and then it'll be over in 3 or 4 days. It's not gonna, It's not gonna be a hyperinflation like in Venezuela, where it lasted a year or two of really high inflation. It's just gonna all fiat is going to incinerate in a matter of moments. And over lunch I came up with an idea of we were talking about how Bitcoin is immutable and it makes the past immutable, right? There's the ledger has a record of all the blocks that were mined and all the transactions, the UTXOs, all that stuff is in there. But the thing that Bitcoin also does, it makes the future immutable. Like Hyperbitcoinization is coming, and there's nothing that can be done to stop it. There's nothing. Like governments, central banks, there's nothing they can do to stop it at all. Nothing. They can't terrorize their citizens. They can't outlaw it. They can't regulate it. They can't try to be more responsible. They can't stop printing. They can't be fiscally sound. They can't do anything because Bitcoin is there. It's here. It's arrived. And the fact that it arrived the moment January 3rd, 2009, the future became immutable. It was inevitable that all would be hyper-Bitcoinized. So that's what I'm saying. It's like a black hole. Like once you get over that event horizon, and the event horizon moment was when it was birthed, when the first Bitcoin was mined. That this is what happened. It was going to suck in every single thing in the monetary universe.
Right. That's right. So now we're seeing countries, in the order of both need and opportunity.
Yes.
So in the order of need and opportunity, they're becoming hyper-Bitcoinized. So El Salvador had the need and they had the opportunity. In the U.S., their perception is that they don't need it and they don't really have an opportunity to do it. But Ukraine does, so they're moving according to that. So that's the way you got to consider what countries now have the need and the opportunity. Clearly, all of Latin America has a need for it, and they all have an opportunity for it. So I think that whole region is going to go. Then in Africa, particularly in Nigeria, they have a need, they have an opportunity. They're going to do it. So there's an urgency there. There's no learning curve because it's the mother of invention is necessity. They have a necessity-driven Bitcoin adoption, and it's just happening naturally because it's not hard to understand Bitcoin if you need to understand it. That's the way life is. You understand things quickly when you need to understand them. You are confused about things when you need to be confused about things. Like in the United States, the political powers are always confused. We don't know what's going on. How did this happen? we're at the the 9/11 anniversary is this weekend, and it's all the people in the upper echelons of the U.S. government are always like, "How did it happen? We're so confused. We're so confused." Where the why it happened is everyone else in the world knows why it happened, and they can tell you why it happens. But in America, they're like, "I don't know why this happened. Why us?" Right? And okay, right. So same thing with Bitcoin. They're going to be like, "Why didn't we get into it earlier? Why are we so dumb? I don't get it. I'm so confused." And okay, but back in the 1940s and 50s, the U.S. was tops, and it was pretty cool, and Hollywood makes some good movies back then, but that's over.
Right, right out this window across from us, we could see, what do they call it now? Freedom Tower.
Yeah.
Freedom Tower. World Trade Center, right? Freedom Tower, right out there. And when we booked this whole thing, I forgot 9/11 is 9/11, right? And that it's a 20th anniversary from it.
Right.
So apparently there's going to be some big event down here. We'll be gone by the evening events down here, but yeah, this is that whole 9/11, the spooky thing. Maybe that's why it's so quiet as well. Like nobody wants to be around for the memorial situation happening. There's some huge event happening down here. I don't know what it is, but there's that. So yeah, we were talking about the immutability of the future. The future is now, you can't change it, right? It's too late. We've gone over that monetary event horizon. And the other thing we were discussing at lunch is that there is that necessity, the need. The thing that's so crazy, if you look at the history of, if you look at evolution and the fossil records, or if you look at any faster reproducing creatures, and you'll see the BBC will do documentaries about various creatures and wildlife. They do. That's one thing the BBC does well, right? Is these wildlife documentaries, and you see like there will be a major shift in climate, or something will happen in a local climate, and the creatures there just suddenly adapt. Like they sprout body parts that, lo and behold, are perfect and totally needed to survive the new environment.
Well, there are mutations,
Yeah,
that survive the new environment, but before the environment changed, they were called mutations. Then the environment changes, and they're called the survivors. So this is why nature always gives us mutations, because we don't know where the future is going to take species. And this is an important aspect to people's personal development, is that since you don't really know what mutant freak is going to be appreciated in the future, you shouldn't deprive yourself of your own freakdom. You should always let your freak out, because it could be exactly what is needed. That's why the early adopters of Bitcoin were typically freaks and geeks and nerds and all kinds of crazy people. But it turns out that this is what the planet needed. The early adopters, interestingly enough, were all became 100-millionaire and billionaires, which is usually not the case. Usually the early adopters get pushed aside, but in the case of Bitcoin, there was a very different story. But the story of diversification of the species, right? You need diversification. You need media diversification. You need diversification in the food. You need diversification in the cultures. Diversity is strength. Having a decentralized network is strength. But when you have a monoculture, and you have no diversity in media, and you have propaganda, and you have conformity, and you have authoritarianism, like we're seeing in the United States right now, that's the recipe for no longer being a viable culture in the future.
though I don't think, like, say there was an abundant diversity in the number of eyes that creatures had during the Cambrian explosion. The evolutionary process tried 3 eyes, 5 eyes, 7 eyes, 10 eyes, a dozen eyes. They've tried different things, and evolution settled on 2 eyes, that it turned out to be the best. And pretty much we haven't gone back. There's some flies with more eyes or whatever, but there's 2 eyes is how it goes. Same with 2 arms. You know, we're split in half, like we're symmetric characters.
Right, but now since the species is moving into virtual reality, that 2-eye paradigm might not hold up. It might be something else. I mean, it held up for a long time, but now the environment's changing, so we may have a different paradigm than what came out of that particular period of life development.
So in terms of my theory about this immutability of the future is like once 2 eyes happened, that was it. That was the future. All creatures were going to have 2 eyes, not 7. They were going to have 2. The same thing was once Bitcoin happened, it was going to be Bitcoin. Hyperbitcoinization, there was no, all these 2,000 coins that came around afterward, never going to happen. They're all going to die. They were, even if you give them benefit of the doubt, they all say they're trying to save the world, they're trying to do something, and they're not trying to scam anybody. But let's say even with that, like all of it is going away. All those experiments failed and were never necessary once Bitcoin happened.
Right. They're all basically in the shadow of Bitcoin. And as Bitcoin continues to do everything that those other projects claim that they can do in some better way, then they become superfluous and they're going to fade away, just like Bitcoin Satoshi Vision is now falling off the radar. So will Bitcoin Cash completely fall off the radar. And so will Ethereum, and so will everything else. I mean, there's always going to be some garbage out there that people are trading, but there's no competition to Bitcoin. There never was, and there never will be. Not until you get into hyper-Bitcoinization, which means no more fiat money, no more shitcoins, and gold is completely demonetized. So however long that takes, then we'll be at a different place. But until that time, there is no competitor.
I'm doing that for Yellow. Yellow has all these eyeballs in the comments.
Really?
How are you guys out there? How's it happening out there? Should I turn up the light? Can you see Max enough, or is he?
I'm in the shadows.
He's in the shadows?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Do you see the camera up there?
I think I do. Yeah, there it is. Yo, what up? Yo, what's up?
Right. Yeah, no, I went, I have a nice bright pink shirt on, and it's easier to get.
Well, the camera's on you. Right?
You want to swap sides?
No, I'm fine. I prefer to be in the shadows.
Well,
I'm fine. That's fine.
The camera's right there. It's like equal distance from us.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at the monitor.
Scoot up.
And I see that you're in full light.
No, what? I have it pointed. No.
Okay. So now we have light.
This,
now we're both in the light.
No, watch this. Watch this.
I'm not gonna watch this. No.
No,
there.
Sit over
See,
there.
that's more. No. That's better lit. That's the way the lighting should be.
Move over there.
No, I think this is more casual. This is more like, yeah.
See, listen, I am very bright white.
Well, because the light is shining on your face.
No, I'm
see that?
Stop. I'm a source of light.
You're a source of light.
Yeah.
You're a sorceress. You're a sorceress.
No, sit there and see. I want the audience to see how just you're so much darker. You're tan. See, look. You're once again. Look.
It's
like when
now I lost the windscreen, as I knew I would. Of course.
It's right there. Don't go.
There we go.
Don't be a nutter. Like, look. See now what? Now you would accuse
What's that?
The light of being on me again.
Let me see. Well, now the light's still on you.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. I am a source of light. People don't understand.
That's weird.
Only the meme artists understand this.
That's weird.
Yeah, but see,
how come I'm always in the dark? Even though when I'm in the light, I'm still in the dark. They won't light me up. I'm okay. I can't get lit. What's going on here? I'm in the shadows. And this cord is wrapped around my left testicle. Why can't I even speak? I'm going to start doing falsetto soon. I'm going to sound like Andy Gibb. You can my nuts are being wrapped around by this microphone cord.
Oh my God. Do you want to swap back?
No, I'm kind of enjoying it.
What, you can't look at yourself in the playback. You gotta look at the camera. See, and when you
how's that? How about that?
See, I'm like the Marlene Dietrich or Greta Garbo, right?
Yeah.
They knew how to play with the light. Like, you got to seek the light out, Max. You got to seek the light. You got to stop dwelling. But now, like, our mics are on the wrong side is the problem.
Why shouldn't that shouldn't make any difference?
Yeah, well, because if I'm talking this way, right? I need to do this. I need to do this. This is riveting television, so shut the fuck up.
There.
Stop complaining.
How's that?
This is a whole. This is turned into a disaster.
This is the crazy. Look at all this.
Good thing there's Bellevue right up the road.
Look at that! I can't get out of my own cords. Why is
it's a
that
good
all
thing
confused?
there's Bellevue right up the road, and we could just be checked in.
No.
This could be Bellevue right here.
I think nobody in the audience would know whether this was Bellevue or not. You know, the decor looks like Bellevue, and I don't mean.
How do you know?
Oh, I've been there. Yeah, I've been there. I've been there a few times. You know, they
Max, you got to learn to project your inner light like Stacy. No, it's just like.
Oh yeah.
He's many, many shades darker than I am because he is always going out, and sunning his balls, right? And when he does, don't pull the cord like that. Those are expensive mics, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's just like Max likes to just rip things apart and break them all over the place.
That's better. There we go.
Okay. Whew.
That's nice.
Like, see, you're in the shade again.
What?
You're in the shade.
That's crazy. How do you... Boy. What's happening in the Bitcoin space?
What do you think we've been talking about for the last 45 minutes?
Was there any news, though? I mean...
Wait, the only thing to do in the Bitcoin space is stack and hold, right? Like...
Right.
Everybody wants to be a trader. Everybody wants to think there's some shortcut to accumulating.
How about that guy, Michael Burry? Right, he went short Bitcoin like 20,000 points ago. He's getting carried out on a stretcher.
Somebody's saying it's your dark vest. That's why you're in the dark.
Oh, is that it?
Somebody suggested that Max got his Series 7 at Bellevue.
Yeah, they had a special at Bellevue, Series 7, and a bowl of soup, for $9.99. You get that nice special down there at Bellevue. It's beautiful. So
I like how Max is always in the shade. It's just like, it's pretty amazing.
What if I were more up? I have to be in the foreground, but then your head looks small.
No, it looks. You don't need to sit that far up. Just a little bit. Here, I'll sit back because I am a source of light.
I suppose so.
Okay. Don't go any further back because
right there.
You'll disappear again.
That's a good balance.
Right. Anyway, tell us, is Michael Saylor captured?
What the fuck? Is he the Taliban? Where is he? Is he in Kabul?
Oh yeah, somebody was saying they were on a Spaces call with the Taliban last.
Oh really? I missed that one. I wanted to orange pill the Taliban.
I want to fill the space,
I can, honey. That's where the light's coming from. Jesus. Now I know we're in that strange UFO-dominated part of the galaxy.
No, but the Taliban, right?
I can orange pill the Taliban. Put me on a Spaces with the Taliban, because apparently the Taliban's allowed on Twitter. So, if they have a Spaces call, I'd be happy to orange pill the leadership of the Taliban. Just get me on a call with those guys, and we'll get them a stacking sats in no time. I can frame it in a way that they would immediately start to buy Bitcoin aggressively. That's what we need.
We do know for a fact, and maybe you in the audience don't know this because we might not have told you this yet. But the truth of the matter is that Kaiser Report airs into Guantanamo Bay. And the thing is, because the U.S. military gives them television to watch there, all these prisoners. And the thing is that they point the satellite away from the U.S. because they don't want them to get U.S. news. Like, woohoo, Fox and MSNBC. Ooh, they're so lucky. Like they would be brain dead by now. But nevertheless, or they would probably be hyper partisans, right? They would be like blue team versus red team in Guantanamo Bay, like MAGA and like hating each other.
Yeah, nobody can jerk off to Rachel Maddow.
No. But the thing is, so they point the satellite away, and in Guantanamo Bay, they therefore get Kaiser report in Espanol. So you have to understand that half of the Taliban government now, the new government of Afghanistan, lived in Guantanamo Bay for
That's right.
a few years.
They all went to Guantanamo Bay High School, which is a new movie by the director of Fast Times at Ridgemont High. It's going to be the Taliban High School. It's about the hijinks of Taliban in Guantanamo Bay watching Kaiser report on RT.
Yeah, somebody's pointing out that there's that there's a woman who lives in Kabul. She's on Twitter often, and she's trying to she's a Bitcoiner.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But she's trying to sell, pitch Bitcoin to the Taliban.
Right. So in other words, the leadership of the Taliban was in Guantanamo Bay. In Guantanamo Bay, they watched Kaiser report because that's the only television they allowed them to watch. So that means that the leadership knows Max Kaiser and Kaiser report and Stacy Herbert. So that's what I'm saying. Put me on a Spaces call with the leadership of the Taliban, and I will orange pill them so hard that they'll be just begging to buy Bitcoin. That's fine. It's all good. Everything is good. It doesn't matter how you come to Bitcoin. It's all good. It could be the Taliban. You could be, sixth graders going to Marymount High School in the middle of Des Moines, Idaho. It's all good. It's all good.
I'm just giggling because, first of all, somebody said for us to get a room. And
we are in a room.
We're literally in a room.
Fuckwit. And this is our room.
And also, New York is filled with crazy people, and it has been filled with crazy people forever. And Max, to me, feels like one of those right now because he keeps on looking at himself in there.
Is that me?
Instead of talking.
Is that me?
Instead of talking to the camera.
Hello? Gosh. Oh yeah, I could talk to the camera.
Who are you? Who's out there?
Hello.
It's like Peeping Toms because we're in a hotel room.
All right. I'll talk to the camera. Welcome. Are you with the Taliban? Hi, hey, I'm Max Kaiser.
That's what I was gonna say.
You orange pilled? Do you own Bitcoin?
No. Okay.
It's the way that real individual sovereignty through Bitcoin. It's unconfiscatable.
So on Swan Signal, they always do this 60 seconds. You have 60 seconds to pitch this specific person or group of people on Bitcoin.
Right.
And so I'm pretending that I'd be Swan Signal, swanbitcoin.com/orange pill, where we stack sats, how to pitch the Taliban. How would you pitch the Taliban? Max Kaiser, you have 60 seconds.
Well, it's clearly stated in the Quran that immutable, unconfiscatable money is the way to Allah. And Bitcoin is that unconfiscatable, immutable money, number one. Number two...
There's Max's head being decapitated.
Number two, you've got a lot of spare change now, thanks to those nimwits who left billions of dollars worth of military hardware at the airport. Sell all that shit to a bunch of other dictators around the world.
Yeah.
Sell it back to the U.S. Here's the deal. The U.S. will buy back all that shit for 90 cents on the dollar. Just put it on eBay. And, Jay Powell and his friends in Washington will buy back all of your military shit in the next week or so before it degrades. Then take that cash and go over to a Bitcoin exchange of your choosing and start stacking sats. Start accumulating large swathes of Bitcoin. You don't want folks in El Salvador to have more Bitcoin than you, do you, Afghanistan? Wink, wink. You don't want America to have more Bitcoin than you, do you, Afghanistan? No, you don't. That's why you need to get in the game right now. Allah would be happy. You're all going to be happy. It's all going to be good. Start stacking sats today in Kabul and everywhere else.
Right. Well, I do believe you would have been beheaded. Somebody wants to know if you would be, would you microdose with the Taliban? And I think, two of the things you brought up is you could say to them, okay, sure, you've been released from Guantanamo, but have you really, if you're still like stacking dollars? We saw you with the pile of a couple tens of millions of dollars of our cash. Fair on you. You know, possession is 9/10 of the law. You got our cash. Thank you, Joe Biden and Donald Trump before him, for taking my money and sending it over there. But the thing is, you've got all those weapons. You think, you know, you're thinking analog fiat world. You have that fiat dollars and you have fiat weapons. The real weapon is Bitcoin. You don't have to be in Guantanamo Bay of the mind.
That's right. Guantanamo Bay is a state of mind. And you know what that state of mind is all about? Fiat money. If you want to escape the imprisonment of fiat money, which you're still suffering from because the whole world is suffering in the same boat, you can get out of prison with your get out of jail free card simply by accumulating Bitcoin. It's the only way that you can see yourself and see your way on the path toward inner peace and inner enlightenment. Despite all those crazy hijinks and all those roughhousing that y'all do when you get all excitable. I know in there you want peace, inshallah, which is the only Arabic word I know. So listen, come on down.
Arabic?
Come on down to
Are
Max.
You down the Arabic hole?
I'm down the Arabic hole. Jump on down the Arabic hole right now with Bitcoin.
Max has definitely got his New York freak on now.
Trust me on this.
And you're doing your public access television face.
There must be like little Afghanistan somewhere in Manhattan.
There is.
Where is it? In Queens? There must be.
Everything's in Queens.
Right. Let's go to Queens right now and find wherever the Afghanis are hanging out. Sit down for some couscous.
Apparently, they're not Afghanis; they're Afghans.
Oh, okay. I stand corrected. We'll find the Afghans. We'll sit down to a nice meal. I assume they're into couscous and that type of thing. Is that a big dish?
I think they eat a lot of meat, lamb.
Yeah, lamb,
goat,
couscous. Lovely dish. Tangine. You know, Tangine.
Max is just talking out of his bottom now. Let me go see if people are still there.
You know,
or are they like Arabica?
Arabica is also an excellent coffee, so you've got that. But nevertheless, it will be imperative for all folks, all countries, all corporations, all individuals to stack sats. They must stack sats. And that's what we're seeing now. It's game theory is kicking in, and nothing can stop it. No power on Earth can stop it. So that's what we're witnessing right now. That's what we're seeing.
Ryan M says that you are staring directly into his soul.
I'm looking right into your soul, Ryan M, and I'm talking to you. You're who I'm talking to. You need to get right with Satoshi. Do it now. Right now. Ryan M.
It might be time for me to bring Max back to Bellevue.
Back to Bellevue.
I think Bellevue is still in operation, right?
As far as I know, my subscription card, is still good. I haven't gotten a notice. I think I still get a discount card. Bellevue, you get 5 lobotomies for the price of 3.
You can only do 1 lobotomy.
That's not
true.
Can do. That's not true. You can do more than 1 lobotomy.
You know, when we lived here when I was little, my mom worked at Bellevue.
Oh yeah, that's where I met your mom.
She
introduced me to you.
Stacy's mom. Yeah, no, she was a teenager, and she was in the doing the electroshock.
Yeah,
in that area.
Of course, that's a very popular area of Bellevue.
People check in for that.
Yeah, they're not mining Bitcoin in the former electric shock therapy room of Bellevue. They're no fools.
That's a good point.
Yeah, there's a lot of stranded energy in mental hospitals across America. Take the electric shock off the temples and start mining Bitcoin. And that's a way toward inner peace and mental stability, mental health stability, would be less electric shock therapy, more Bitcoin mining. Ryan M.
That's it. Cascading liquidations drop Bitcoin prices. El Salvador introduces legal tender law. These are some of the headlines from Dylan Leclerc 20 hours ago.
Oh, you're right.
Was it really only 20 hours ago that happened?
I guess so. It seemed like You
It
know,
seems so.
it was never like that. I never knew in El Salvador that wasn't on the Bitcoin standard.
Right. Like,
I've only known in El Salvador that's on the Bitcoin standard.
that's what I'm saying. We're in the immutable future right now.
That's right. We're in the immutable future, the ever-present now, the cosmic now, and everything is in the now.
Jesus
There's no
Christ.
separation between the what.
Why does JP Morgan always feel that they need to weigh in on everything?
What are they whinging on
I don't even know what they said, but the headline is like a look. Oh, wait. Debunking JP Morgan's arguments against El Salvador's Bitcoin adoption. So they were against Bitcoin adoption. But, we were just covering a story for Kaiser Report whereby they were talking about Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka is having a situation similar to what happened to Nigeria. So Nigeria is a really rocking entrepreneurial place, right? If you've ever watched any documentaries about there, or been there, everybody's selling something. Like everybody's hustling. Everybody's there's no big UBI welfare sort of state. There are no Biden bucks being sent to everybody. So they got to go out and try to sell something. A lot of import, export stuff. And what happened during the financial crisis and then during COVID lockdowns and when global trade, remember, it came to a halt. Everything came to a halt to stop the 2 weeks to, flatten the curve. One thing that happened was when that happens, because of the US dollar as the global settlements rail, and this is the problem with the Triffin dilemma, right? You got to keep on sending dollars overseas if you're the global reserve currency. Well, how do you get dollars overseas if there's no trade? So that pushed Nigerians quickly. They still needed cars, used cars. They still needed things. So there were no dollars in their Forex, in their central bank. So therefore, the private banks and the Forex, the Casa de Cambios had no Bitcoin, no dollars, right? Mm-hmm. So how are they going to trade with China or Japan? They import a lot of used cars from there. So they had to turn to Bitcoin because they could convert to Bitcoin in Nigeria and the other end could convert to their own currency, right? Mm-hmm. So this is the same thing with Sri Lanka right now, is they also have a massive shortage of dollars.
Right.
So there's a crisis going on whereby they're not able to even import food because there are no dollars to pay for it. I'm like, dudes, there's Bitcoin. Just turn to Bitcoin, because if you can't get dollars, everybody can get Bitcoin.
Right. Well, that's an excellent point. And this is exactly the story of Nigeria. So in the globalized village that we live in, I'm sure that somebody in Sri Lanka right now is petitioning for this to happen. And this is going to be the growing story. This is why the U.S. dollar is falling out of favor, because you do have this alternative to the U.S. dollar, and it's pretty easy for people to do what Nigeria and other countries have done. So this is the growing trend, and there is a huge need for it. And so this is driving hyperbitcoinization, and it's a force that can't be stopped really because of all the dynamics that are contributing to its success and rapid adoption around the world.
We need to kick. Right? There's a person we need to kick out.
Okay.
Because we don't like negative people.
Fine, let's kick them out.
This couch format is cozy, but too gray. You know what?
Yeah, it's gray.
The content is king. That's all that matters, right? We are where we are. Are we gonna stay in our Guantanamo Bay of a home for you? You want us prisoners in one location forever? Can't we travel? Or are you against freedom? Why are you against freedom? Well, now who's got the last laugh? You're no longer with us, are you? Jesus,
that was harsh. But how did it be done? How did it be done?
What's the point of wasting our time with negativity?
Well, that's true. That's true.
No, staring at into that light has made me blind. I can't see now.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. I bet it seems as though the quality of the image is pretty good because we have a nice camera. The lighting itself is okay. I mean, the background is not terribly inspiring, but that's not really
How
a
about
big
how
problem.
about like we put some pretty?
I need that back there so I don't fall over. I mean, there's art I could put in the frame, but it's bolted to the wall.
No,
So you
the
can't
thing
really
is,
change
it
that.
has a glass front in this like
All right,
huge
that would be
reflection.
reflective.
So we could you know what, we can get those giant rainbow dildos and like we'd look like meme art. We'd look like some grillage art.
Yeah, the grillage art. Yeah, that's what we need. That's
How
what
about we
need.
have like just two giant dildos over there?
Like lava lamps, giant rainbow dildo lava lamps. That would be cool.
Because then people like scrolling through the live streams on YouTube would know instantly that it's a Bitcoin podcast, right? They'd be like, oh, I want to know about Bitcoin. I want to hear about Bitcoin.
That's right. It's between us and chat roulette. That's how we met, by the way.
The kids don't know what chat roulette is.
They don't know what chat roulette is?
There's probably something else. I wish Stacy was my mom wife. Okay.
Mom wife. Okay.
I don't know. That's disturbing.
I'm disturbed.
Max, what do you think the driving factors for pushing Bitcoin high the year will be? Shut the fuck up, trim Poloxapop.
Trim Poloxapop. Why do you ask this question? It's meaningless. Don't look at the price. Just stack. Stack. Keep stacking. Doesn't matter what the price
is. The stream looks fine, guys. Yeah, because like
yeah,
you're like
look fine.
Imagine being a guy who needs dildos coming out of his eyeballs in a meme. Like Grillage needs to do about that guy. Because look, okay, this is gray, but what the fuck about me? I've got leopard skin print trousers for you. I got a bright fluorescent pink top. Like, hello. Max is naturally, I'm a natural, and not only I am a star. I emit light, and I am a force of gravity.
That's right.
Like.
That's right. Just like, that's right.
Max is attracted to me.
You're just a natural star creature.
He's sucked into me.
But yeah, I can't resist you. You're magnetically just pulling me into the vortex of your beingness. It's where I want to be.
Stacy looks loaded on E. Okay. I've never taken ecstasy, but I'm always ecstatic and filled with love.
Yeah.
Except for all the people I hate.
Right.
But even then, I love them. Stacy's hair gives 0 fucks.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, what the hell is going on? I'm going to get it trimmed, I think, tomorrow.
Okay. That's good.
Right.
That's good to know. Anyway,
so we're going to take a few more minutes of questions. If you've got any, leave them here in the chat on the side. If you're looking at it there, it's that direction. No, it's that direction.
Yeah.
It's that direction. Right? Yeah, I think it's in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it that? Leave it in the live chat.
Right.
Okay. Content is king. Right. Is this what you would describe as a black hole? Fluorescent pink flamingo leopard print overalls. Exactly.
Yeah.
Max and Stacy. Okay. Here's one from India. I'm a huge fan from India.
Oh,
Been following you and Max since long ago. You two look orangely awesome today. Okay. Thank you, Rohan.
Thank you. You can stay.
I thought it was a question.
You can stay.
Okay. Max entropy. Max is disintegrating. What if Max disintegrated into the sofa?
Right. Just like, it's actually a hologram. And it digitally just vaporized into nothingness.
What if Max vaporized?
That'd be cool.
Max and Stacy, who do you think is Satoshi Nakamoto? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Fuck Satoshi. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Do you guys run a Bitcoin node? Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
You guys are the best.
That's true.
That is so true.
That's true.
By the way, we'd watched the cable news last night.
Yes, how was that?
Oh my God. It is really bad. Like, oh my God. Like, I can't feel like you're comfortable there.
I'm very, very, very comfortable. Very comfortable. This is,
No, I mean, I can't really believe how bad it is. It gets worse and worse. And it's just like, it is, you tune into Fox and then you tune into MSNBC, and it is like two warring groups of teenagers and a high school.
yeah.
Like, it's so childish with zero sophistication. Like, this is just like the most demented country in the developed world. Like, it's
Yeah.
speaking of entropy,
Yeah.
like the disintegration and the chaos as you see all around you in the headlines is reflected in the people at the top right there. Like, these are the guys that are supposed to make some sense of what is happening. They're supposed to tell the people what's happening, and
Yeah.
they have zero understanding of anything.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is so crazy in terms of Fox. Is they just ran 3 hours straight of saying that, Joe Biden is dangerously senile and about to hit the atomic weapon bomb, push the button essentially. And then the other side is, well, Joe Biden is the greatest hero that has ever walked the face of the earth. He's this heroic character. So I see Kim Jong-un in North Korea had a total makeover. He's lost like 50 pounds. He's got some suit he's wearing. Haircut's done. Like, what's going on with this guy? Is he getting ready to start a reality TV show or something? Did the Hollywood agency call him up, the CAA, and say, we want you on a show? And what's going on there? Maybe that guy, the basketball player with the tattoos.
Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, maybe Dennis Rodman got Kim Jong-un cleaned up for some massive new Netflix series.
I think it's called COVID. I think he got COVID, but also COVID shut down the borders. Like, North Korea is totally reliant on China for everything.
Yeah.
China shut down their borders so vicious and hard for the last year and a half.
Right.
So there are reports. Who knows what's really, there's so much propaganda, not only from North Korea itself, but about North Korea. And every single time, like, how many times did Kim Jong-un die, right, over the last 5 years?
Right.
15, 20 times. And the headline news and the major mainstream media will run with this, like, story that he possibly died, and it's always wrong. But, like, there are reports that, there was a lot of starvation this past year. And so he could have actually even had to, like, cut back on his food because it was that sort of situation. I saw that, the headlines they were covering, they showed, it was actually on the news in North Korea, the news, which is, like, not too different from MSNBC or Fox. But that I saw that they were, they showed a clip of what they showed on North Korean news, and they showed Kim Jong-un of, like, oh my God, look how thin he looks. And the presenters were crying, saying, our poor Kim, he is, like, suffering for the people. He is, like, so it could be, part of a promo. He's like an Instagram star too, like the Taliban.
Oh, right.
Pushing some diet products.
Yeah, it could be a new diet book. Kim Jong-un's diet book. He'll be on Oprah soon, talking about this massive new diet phase and craze. But they eat kimchi in Korea, right? That's supposed to be very good for you. A lot of yeast, vinegar, and stuff.
I think it is good. Kim Jong-un is reformed. The guy knows the West makes fun of his weight.
They live to like 150 years old there because they eat nothing but kimchi. They eat a lot of kimchi.
So that's it. That's it. It's 5 o'clock. It's after 5 o'clock here, so it's time to head down to the cocktail bar, and it was good to see you again. We'll be microdosing from Paris next, and we'll hopefully have more lights there. The French like their lights,
It's a city of light.
It's a city of light.
Yeah.
That's why we're going there, just to have enough light for you. And definitely,
how mobile is this rig? Is it mobile?
What do you mean mobile? Like, can we move it around the room with us or what?
I guess I don't know. I don't really even know what I'm asking. I'm gonna ask you later. Later, I'm gonna ask you this later. I'm not gonna ask you now.
Because obviously
this is not the time
it's
or the
mobile
place.
enough to get from North Carolina to New York.
Right. That I'm gonna pick this up at a different time.
Right. So make sure to smash the like button. Thank you for subscribing, everybody. You know, we had a big jump in the numbers subscribing, thanks to listening to me, because I put it into our Telegram group and I asked you to please subscribe, because we're trying to get over 100,000, because that opens us up for the silver play button, but also other tools that are we have access to in the back end of YouTube. And yes, smash the like button, subscribe, hit notifications, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to reach over here. If you see my boob,
well done.
If you see my boobs,
I saw plenty.
Then you know, it's time for us to go get a cocktail and some oysters. More oysters.
Yeah, we can't go wrong with oysters.